Every once in a while, an anime comes around that grips you from the first minute with its expert world building, entrancing visuals, and compelling cast of characters. And the most recent show that's done that for me is Sabikui Bisco from the winter 2022 season. Sabikui Bisco is starting to gain some recognition recently in the anime community, and I honestly think that it could have had a shot at anime of the season if it didn't have the unfortunate luck of being stuck airing at the same time as Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. Sabikui Bisco actually has one of the most perfect starts to an anime I've seen in a while, for multiple reasons. The first is that it immediately plunges the viewer headfirst into a rich and largely unfamiliar world without a lot of context. I really dislike it when shows have a unique setting but immediately give away all of the details of the structure of the world through long-winded narration or an exposition dump in dialogue. Sabikui Bisco does the exact opposite, with the first episode showcasing an incredible range of fantastical things that are simply taken for granted in this new world. The things we see include people afflicted with a rust disease, mushroom keepers who shoot arrows that sprout massive mushrooms, oversized mutated animals, a post-apocalyptic city with a mafia-like governor, and sprawling desert landscapes separated from civilization by a big wall. It's funny that mushrooms play such a prominent role in the story, as that's definitely what the writers were on when they created it. There are just enough ties to our world to keep things grounded, but everything else we have to learn about in bits and pieces. And bits and pieces are exactly what we get. At the start, we get tiny vignettes of only a minute or two each, introducing different characters and showcasing their personalities and abilities without explaining much. The show will hit you with a mind-blowing action sequence and then switch over to something quieter, like a doctor healing his patients, but then expertly weave the characters' destinies together in a way that brings greater clarity about what's happening in the world. Exposition is mostly shown rather than told, and it's fed to us in drips that form a cohesive narrative by the end of the second episode. And just as the show jumps around from place to place, it also jumps around in time. The start of the show splices together two narratives of the past and present. The anime will show us the consequences of certain actions, and then turn back time to the beginning of the chain of events that led to them. These sequences swap back and forth until eventually what we've seen in the past catches up to the present. It's a really ingenious presentation that keeps a constant feeling of mystery while still gradually expanding viewers' understanding of what's going on. Another thing that impresses me about Sabikui Bisco right from the start is the wide cast of characters. The show introduces a lot of different people, but it never feels overwhelming, and each of them has a key part to play in the story. In addition, characters' motivations are a lot different from those of your typical action leads. They aren't concerned with some gigantic revenge plot or looking for a grand adventure. The main cast are foremost interested in saving individual people who are important to them, and then after that, their secondary goal is to save the broader population from the rust disease. This makes them very easy to empathize with. In addition, while the show has a lot of action, the goal of healing others allows there to be a lot of calmer, more touching moments as well. One great thing about the characters in this anime is that the show has a lot more gender balance when it comes to screen time and character strength than other shows. Many action shows sideline their female cast, but Sabikui Bisco often hands them the spotlight and has them save the day or take key roles in fights. While the two most major characters in the show are both men, the characters after that with the biggest roles and most screen time have been women. In addition, while there are some romantic moments here and there, not all of which have been really earned or made sense, there's relatively little in the way of fan service. Sabikui Bisco also complements its amazing world building and characters with a strong soundtrack. It's got some great heavier music during fight scenes, which I appreciate as a metal fan. And the other music fluctuates from rich orchestral scores to more electronic music that fits in with the futuristic post-apocalyptic setting. The opening song is also one of my favorites I've heard in a while, and it's by Juna, who's known for her work on openings for Macross Delta, The Ancient Magus Bride, and Kakegurui XX. The show has a very talented cast, too. One of the main characters, Bisco, is played by Ryota Suzuki, who was Ishigami in Kaguya-sama. Like he did with Ishigami, he once again shows his ability to switch effortlessly between quiet and reserved speech and loud outbursts. The other male lead, Milo, is played by Natsuki Hanai, who's doing double duty this season as Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. As you'd expect, he gives an equally strong performance here. Pawu, Milo's sister and the most important woman in the show, is played by Reina Kondo, who's known for roles like Nikaido in Dorohedoro and Sakura in Horimiya. She does a powerful low voice in this show that steals the scene every time Pawu is talking. There's also Tyrell, who's played by Miyu Tomita, known for roles like Riko from Made in Abyss and Miko from Kaguya-sama. Miyu Tomita brings a high-pitched voice and playful energy to the show that provides a good contrast with the other members of the group. And as a side note, it's great to see two Kaguya Student Council members interacting in a different show. All in all, Sabikui Bisco is a masterclass in how to start an anime, and it leaves me excited for each new episode to come out. You should definitely give it a watch if you want a compelling sci-fi anime that doesn't require you to catch up on past seasons of content. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing for weekly content. I'm Matrix from Matrix AM, Anime, and more, and I hope you have a great day.